Hey, Ed, welcome back to Game on Vegas. Let's talk some football now. We welcome to the show former NFL veteran. He is in studio. Jamie Williams, thank you very much for being here and in Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, this is an exciting time for Vegas because the Raiders are coming.
Yes, Chris, it's hard for me to believe that they're actually going to put an NFL football team and players next to the Strip.
It's a crazy thing. I mean, it's crazy. When you go, when you think back to when you played, being on the Strip in Vegas, what kind of comes to mind? I mean,
let's see. Think Caligula, Nero. You know what I'm saying? Decadence. It was fun, but we used to come like and support during the playoffs if we weren't in the playoffs and just help fans. But it was Vegas was crazy then.
Now it's certainly changed.
There was no Chris. There was no camera phones though.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no one got caught. It was a different time and era.
That's right.
But now the Raiders are coming. You've been over to the stadium. You've seen that palace. What do you think?
It's going to be beautiful. It's awesome. I kept asking the question like, where are you going to park? But anyway, I mean, because it's in this tight little area, but it's beautiful. It's going to be state of the art. I mean, the architecture on it is unbelievable. Fans will feel it because the Raiders have fans, period. Worldwide fans.
And let's talk about that because you played for the the Los Angeles Raiders back in the day, and boy, Tim Brown was on that team.
Yes.
You had some talented players on that team. You were you were finishing your career when you were with the Raiders. What was that experience like in L.A.?
It was L.A. I mean, I had a degree in film, and it got me closer to that, and I got a chance to in my off days involve myself in film things. But with the Raiders, it was a relatively young team at the time, and I could see the generation gap starting to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so it was it was a good time to retire.
One of the guys who lives in Las Vegas now works for the Venetian, Napoleon McCallum. Lives here in Las Vegas. He played on that team back in the day.
Awesome player.
Yeah,
awesome player.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of players do you recall from that time?
Well, obviously Napoleon. Tim Brown is Hall of Famer. I mean, the dude was classic. He was silky smooth. You know what I'm saying? There was I liked the quarterback a lot. And I can't even
Jeff Hostetler.
Hostetler, yes, nice. He was toward the end of his career, but I mean, he was a great quarterback. Yeah. No, I enjoyed those guys.
Now let's go back and before that, you have a ring on right here. You won with the Niners.
Yes.
What was that like playing with Joe Montana, Steve Young in San Francisco across the bay with the Niners?
Well, let's go back a little bit further on that because you made me think about something. I played with 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and I'm blessed.
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon was we came in the Oilers together, and to play with a guy like that and then transition to Montana and Young was how did God throw that much sprinkle dust on you? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that must have been amazing when you think about that, though. When you play with these guys, a Joe Montana, Steve Young, a Warren Moon, catching passes from those guys, coming out of the University of Nebraska. Like you mentioned, it's almost a dream. I mean, you've lived a pretty good life.
Yeah, I have. And of course, my college quarterback was Turner Gill, who was an All-American. So I've been very blessed to play with some great leaders.
Eventually, Las Vegas will get a Super Bowl.
Sure.
And this city will go crazy over a Super Bowl.
The city is going to overflow. It's going to be stupid.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. I mean, nuts. What's that experience like? Running out there the week before.
I will tell you this. Outside of giving a speech at a tech conference in Bulgaria, that's the most nervous I've ever been in sports is playing in the Super Bowl.
Bulgaria.
Yeah, I was, I was kind of an alpha male football player. And so, but in the Super Bowl, it's just like you flash back on when you were a kid and you're tearing up your brand new jeans because you're out there with your buddies. Your parents tell you not to do it and you're out there because you want to play and be like Biletnikoff and all these guys. And that's the most nervous I've ever been playing in that type of game. But of course, when you're up like we were at halftime, you kinda, then you're just kind of good. It wasn't a tight game, and at halftime we knew we had rings coming.
Let's go back to Houston, your days with Warren Moon, and what were some of these parties like? What was the name of the party? What was the name of the party again that you were saying?
Oh my God! Okay, so I should throw this party called Purple Rain. Purple Rain.
It was your party.
It was my party.
You hosted it.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the deal. When I was at Nebraska, I had 2 guys, Russell Gary and Rodney Lewis, who went to school at Prince at Minneapolis Central, and so Prince would come to Omaha and test some of his songs with the time. And so they could get us in, and we'd go watch it. So I was very hip. So Prince was coming to Houston, and I was like, we got to go there. And one of the guys said, I can get us tickets, a lot of tickets. And so we go to the game, and we'll watch it. We're all into the whole Purple Rain thing. And so afterwards, it's like, God, it shouldn't stop. It's over. What should we do now? I said, let's go to the grocery store, get some stuff, and have a party at my place. You know, I was young and single. And we had it. So the next year, it comes around the same time, and one of the guys, one of the linemen, one of the big quiet linemen says, hey, you going to throw another one of those Purple Rain parties?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, and then it was more organized, and it became really a cool thing. We had players from all over the country coming in to get into that exclusive party.
That's a great story. That's a great story.
Have you ever seen the movie Any Given Sunday?
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the party scene, not the one at the beginning of the movie where everybody's got ties and they're all nice. The wild party. It was based on Purple Rain.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that movie because you were involved with that movie, right?
Yeah,
you helped with the screenplay
or
initial consultant?
Okay. I was initial writer, and then they bought the screenplay, and then it became a compilation of that screenplay and 2 other screenplays. And then I was fortunate enough to be an actor in it. Even though I was like a technical advisor, making sure it looked like football.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I told Oliver Stone is like, look, if you do it and you make it look like something like high school, you get blasted. It's got to look and feel like the pros, and I know what that's like.
Pacino was perfect for that role, wasn't he?
Pacino was amazing.
Yeah.
He was amazing. And I'll give you one quick Pacino story, because, you know, he's a little bitty guy, you know, but I mean professional, right? He knows, you know, Scar father, you know.
Right, exactly.
So he has this scene, and I'm like the technical guy and saying, you know, that's not how we talk in the huddle. You know, that's not how we approach the line of scrimmage. You know, I'm trying to make sure these guys look right and do it right. So Al Pacino has this scene, and then his assistant says, hey, Al wants to see you. I'm like, oh, shit, am I in trouble? I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to go talk to Al Pacino. And he comes up and says, Jamie, did you see that last scene? I was like, yeah, man, I saw it. He says, what'd you think? Did I look like a coach? I'm like, dude, you're beautiful. You know, he was, and he was good. He was good. But it was kind of funny. I'm like, he's asking me, your Oscar-winning actor says, hey, you know, did I look like a coach? I'm like, dude, you look like a great coach.
That's one of the iconic movies. Any Given Sunday, you had Jamie Foxx in there.
Yes.
Cameron Diaz? You had
Diaz,
Dennis Quaid.
LL Cool J.
Yeah. One of the great movies.
Man, Anne Margaret. That was bananas.
There's Jamie Williams, NFL veteran, Super Bowl. You got the ring to prove it right there. Super Bowl champion. Still ahead on Game on Vegas. Hey,